Everyday life in ancient Egypt varied depending on one's social status and occupation, but there are some generalities that can be made about life during the time of the pharaohs. For the wealthy and powerful, life was centered around the royal court and the temples. They lived in large, well-appointed homes and wore fine clothing made from linen or silk. They also enjoyed rich foods like beef, lamb, and fish, and drank wine made from grapes. Entertainment was a big part of their lives, and they enjoyed music, dancing, and games. For the majority of the population, life was focused on agriculture and trade. Farmers worked long hours in the fields, growing crops like wheat, barley, and flax. They used simple tools like wooden plows and sickles, and relied heavily on the annual flooding of the Nile River to provide water and nutrients to their crops. Traders moved goods up and down the Nile River, exchanging goods like gold, copper, and grain. Many people lived in small villages and worked as artisans or craftsmen, creating items like pottery, textiles, and jewelry. Religion played a central role in daily life, and people worshipped a wide range of gods and goddesses, each with their own specific areas of influence. Temples were the center of religious life, and priests held great power and influence in society. Despite the differences in social status and occupation, ancient Egyptians all shared a deep reverence for the pharaoh, who was believed to be a god on earth and the embodiment of Ma'at, the principle of order and balance. The pharaoh was seen as the protector of the people, and his image was ubiquitous throughout the land. Overall, life in ancient Egypt during the time of the pharaohs was a mixture of hard work, religious devotion, and a celebration of the finer things in life for the elite. During the time of the pharaohs in ancient Egypt, there were a few different ways that they could travel from one place to another. One common mode of transportation for pharaohs was by boat along the Nile River. The Nile was the lifeblood of Egypt, and boats were an essential means of transportation for both people and goods. Pharaohs would travel in large, ornate boats with their entourage, often stopping at various cities and temples along the way. Another way that pharaohs traveled was by chariot or horse-drawn carriage. These vehicles were used for shorter distances and allowed the pharaoh to travel more quickly than by foot. They would be accompanied by soldiers and attendants on foot, and the roads would be cleared of any obstacles or traffic for the pharaoh's passage. For longer journeys, pharaohs could also travel by foot or by camel. These modes of transportation were less common and were typically reserved for journeys to more remote or inaccessible locations. Regardless of the mode of transportation, pharaohs would be accompanied by a large retinue of attendants, soldiers, and servants who would assist with their needs and ensure their safety and comfort during the journey. They would also bring along supplies, including food and water, for the journey. Overall, the mode of transportation that a pharaoh used depended on the distance and the purpose of their journey, but boats along the Nile, chariots or carriages, and foot or camel travel were the most common means of transportation. Makeup was an important part of daily life for both men and women in ancient Egypt during the time of the pharaohs. They used a wide range of natural ingredients to create cosmetics that were both functional and aesthetically pleasing. One of the most popular cosmetic products was kohl, a type of eyeliner that was made from ground-up galena, a type of mineral that gave it a dark, black color. Kohl was applied to the eyes using a small stick or brush and was believed to protect the eyes from the harsh sun and prevent infections. Another popular cosmetic product was red ochre, a type of clay that was ground up and used as a blush or lip color. It was applied to the cheeks and lips to create a rosy, youthful glow. Lipstick was also used by both men and women in ancient Egypt. It was made from a combination of beeswax and red ochre, which gave it a reddish-pink color. The lips were outlined with a small brush, and then the lipstick was applied to fill in the color. In addition to these cosmetic products, ancient Egyptians also used scented oils and perfumes to enhance their appearance and mask body odors. They would mix fragrant oils and resins with animal fats to create balms and ointments that were applied to the skin and hair. Overall, the makeup and cosmetics used by ancient Egyptians during the time of the pharaohs were made from natural ingredients and served both functional and aesthetic purposes. In ancient Egypt, during the time of the pharaohs, the duties of normal people varied depending on their social status and occupation. However, there were some general expectations and responsibilities that were shared by most people. For farmers, the primary duty was to tend to their crops and livestock. They worked long hours in the fields, using simple tools like wooden plows and sickles to cultivate and harvest crops like wheat, barley, and flax. They also had to maintain their irrigation systems and prepare for the annual flooding of the Nile River, which provided the water and nutrients necessary for their crops to grow. Religion played a significant role in the daily lives of normal people, and they were expected to worship the gods and goddesses of the Egyptian pantheon. They participated in religious ceremonies and made offerings to the gods in temples. Overall, the duties of normal people in ancient Egypt revolved around their occupation, maintaining their irrigation systems, following the laws and regulations of the government, and participating in religious ceremonies. Thanks for watching our channel. Do like, share, and subscribe, and press the bell icon for more interesting upcoming videos.